jamais vu autant de gens aussi vivants depuis ma naissance. J'aime quand on danse, tes nerfs sur mes hanches. Le monde entier se fout de nous, et nous de eux, et nous de nous. J'aime quand on danse, tes nerfs sur mes hanches. J'ai perdu mes sens, perdu mon regard, la cadence pour moi.
Children. Children. I am Johnny, head counselor at Poetry Camp. Welcome. What? Oh, okay. Great. Thank you for that. Also, co-counselor Sonia Littlejohn, inclusion coordinator for Vancouver House. Give it up. Thank you. Hey, everybody. My name is Johnny Dutrin. I am so honored that you're all here sharing today with us. You may have seen me dressed in a beautiful draped kimono and 20-inch heels, but you know what? This is my vibe. Camp counselor that's a little bit slutty. And I'm here for it, and so are you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, cool. This week has been an incredible week of poetry and camaraderie and joy. The note earlier, what is going on up in the front row here? Okay, great. Thank you. Fantastic. Okay, you know what? People really care about front of house, and that's awesome. So if you are sitting somewhere and there's a space in the middle, scooch together. Get a little bit closer. We can give you masks if you like, and gloves and bodysuits, whatever. But get close so there's more seats for more people. Fantastic. We good? We good? Everyone's good. Okay, cool. Great. Destroying my set here. I'm kidding. I'm not even a comedian. But what I do want to do is just give a beautiful thought with all of you to share with it. See, I've lost all of my words. Fuck. All right, cool. Let me try that again. I just wanted to open and have an acknowledgement of you all here. What's made this week beautiful has been many incredible artists, incredibly hardworking team, and 24 so talented, beautiful poets that more than anything, I am moved by your generosity and their kindness and their support. This week was really focusing on the idea of amplify. That was our theme. But what I soon realized was in that amplification, it was really centered around mentorship from peer to peer, from elder to youth, youth to elder and back. And there's no better way to do that by honoring each other and honoring the lessons that are shared, the stories that are shared. And so I'd like to open with a beautiful welcome from the incredible Elder Mary Point. Give it up, give it up. Mary is the resident elder at the YVR airport and has been with us for the last 3 years. And it's just beautiful. Thank you so much. Right, take it away.
Haichka, Johnny, Haichka, Kuthanasiaya. Each while, hello, bonjour. Asiamnasiaya, Antha Mary Point, Tinitzanach Homathquiam. Iete squios, Ichla Schwakathat, Ichla Thamthamals, Ichla makwam. Ichla shkwalaux. Ichla hachkape. Ichla shwamathquiam ath tameth. Ichla ta shwametz. Amitsep quatquilum. In the language of my ancestors, I let you know, my name is Mary Point and I'm from Musqueam. Today, we're gathered in a place that my family once called Zaccheus, a place of panorama. And I was thinking about that as I was driving here. And when there weren't buildings in my way, I could actually see all the way to the mountains, which are still largely untouched. And all I could think of was these are the same views that my ancestors once looked at. And that made me feel so connected to this place. To the northwest, just slightly down the hill, Shwakathat, once known as a good place to catch the tide, but all filled in now in False Creek, Granville Island area. Just beyond that, Thamals, a place that had a really huge grindstone where our ancestors would go to make their tools. Beyond that, more to the west, just slightly southwest, Makwam, the home of the Silki, the two-headed serpent that slithered across the land and carved out our creeks and streams, leaving in its wake a beautiful purple floret known as the muthqui plant. As it reached the shores, all of the shorelines were lined with the muthqui plant, and my family became known as the people of the muthqui, the Humathquium. To the south, let me think of that name again. I just looked it up because it's very nearby. Shkwalaux, a courting spot. And I thought that was pretty fun to have that just up here, slightly up the hill where Queenie Park is. And I think in some cases that's still a courting spot. So, of course, I was never there. And to the east, Hakkape, a good place to harvest cedar. But all of these place names have been kind of taken over with neighborhood names and park names. But I think collectively, whether we think of this as Canby or Fairview Slopes or City of Vancouver, I think all of us collectively think of this place as Tashwametz, our home. So for all of that, the last words I said following "this place is our home" is Amid Zepquatquilim. Those words are really important to my family. They mean all are welcome to enter this place. I'm really pleased to be sharing all of these words with you in this festival of words. I'm so excited to be standing here with Johnny and all of you because poetry, sharing your words, your creativity, your activism, your thoughts, your beauty, it really lifts me up. And for that, I really have to say, Tanashqualo Kwanzi Kwatsnala. My heart is full to be standing here with all of these beautiful minds and to think about this evening where you've had some fun this week and you're venturing into both an award and some judgment. But we know no one is more judge-minded about your work than you yourselves. And just know that whatever words are being shared, I'll be thinking, this is your love language you're sharing with all of us. And it makes me so happy. So, for all of that, I'm just going to share to close out because that's enough words from me. I'm going to share a song. I've shared it. If you've been here before, you know this song, and I hope you'll join in. And in case you haven't been here before, I'm going to sing it twice so that you join in the second time. It's our Musqueam paddle song. It comes from my great uncle Dominic Point, his traditional name Tiakthet. Tiakthet and the Point family hail from the Musqueam village of Quayach. Quayach, for those of you who are from the Lower Mainland, is now known as Gary Point in Steveston. So renamed by Captain Vancouver, who, like the Spanish before them, just came through renaming all our places and spaces after their friends and compadres. We became known as the Indians from the Point. And then somewhere along the lines of all those changing rules and regulations that they laid on us, they decided it was important for us to have a last name legally. So it was decided that our last name would be Point, since we lived at the Point. So my joke always is it could have just as easily have been Gary, since they didn't care what our name was. But anyway, the important part of that is we know who we are and where we come from. And so this song comes from Tiakthet, from Quayach, a song of the land. And it's a song that we sing when we're entering a new community to let people know we're coming with good intentions. It's a song that we sing when we're standing in community to share a little bit about who we are. And it's a song that we sing at the beginning of any new journey, a wedding, a funeral, a graduation, or days like today as you head into this journey of judgment. I'm kidding. Okay, so I'm so pleased to be standing here. I'm just teasing. I'm really excited for each and every one of you. Okay, Johnny, you ready?
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Backup singer.
Yo, yo, hey, yo, yo, hey, yo, Everybody. always feel so good in my heart when I hear everyone singing this song of the land. That song, our old people say, when they're out on the water, they sing it over and over and over again until the ancestors come and sit with us. But I have a feeling my ancestors and your ancestors are here to hold you up for this evening. So as I go to sit down, I'm going to raise my hands for each and every one of you, and that's because I feel lifted up to be standing here with you, and I want to lift you up in return. Haitzepka.
I've said that, this year's like the best verses we've had in so many years. Last year was fine, you're good, but this year it's really, really, and that was the best sing-along, like the most people sang, which is awesome. 2 years ago, it was Elder Mary Point and sky dancer Louise Bernice Half, former Poet Laureate of Canada, that shared teachings with me and with us. And when an elder shares knowledge, we give back a gift of ourselves. And I wanted to just share this gift with you. So behind me is the graphic art from Grace Yip, a local artist. And yeah, it's beautiful, right? Resoundingly, as we've moved through the world, from like different graphics to like mouths with flowers from last year and whatnot, we just realized the world's a bit of a dark place. And the world's on fire right now with lots of forced migration and genocide and harm and things that we are learning from, we should be learning from, remembering from our past. And so when we spoke with Grace and I shared this vision of what this year was like about amplification and reaching, this was the art that was created. It was really hopeful and really bright and searching for a future coming from books and where knowledge is, for some of us anyway. And so we want to share this book with you. It's a gift. Thank you so much. Thanks, Elder Mary. Thank you. All right. The reason I think this year has been just so awesome is just that there's been a really beautiful homecoming. In theory, next year will be my final curation for the festival. 3 people? Thank you. Next year will be my last year. Thanks. Maybe I'll back in 2027. Maybe, probably not. All love, but it's so 3 years ago, the vision was gathering found family back around the table because the pandemic had arrived, and it was scary and hard, and a lot of people were pushed out for a lot of reasons, and we were trying to bring people back. Last year was learning and remembering, and so it was learning from each other, remembering together. This year's Amplify, and next year is Intimate Dialogues. So we'll go to that courting area over there and share some erotica. No, maybe, I don't know. Whatever. Huh. But this year, right now, today, our theme is amplification. And some of the most important things that we can amplify is gratitude. Honoring people who have done so much for community. And so one of our greatest honors we have is the Zaccheus Jackson Nyce Award. Yeah, give it up. Next to me in this beautiful trophy are names of people who have been given this honor, and there's no one better to present it than our inclusion coordinator, the dear Sonia Littlejohn. Give it away.
Thank you so much. Zaccheus was a force to be reckoned with. He walked into the slam on Commercial Drive one day and won the slam and won the hearts of everyone there, and continued to do that for all the time that he was with us. He was an amazing human being. Many of us have written poems about our time shared with him and what he brought to the world. I do not have one of those with me, but we are going to be sharing one on the projector up there from our dear friend and one of the mentors we've had this week, Michelle St. Bernard, who was one of his spirit sisters. And so before we present the award, I would love to share that video with you. And I will also say that something I would love to see coming back into the festival more is that sharing of food that Zaccheus brought. he would bring everybody together, like all the poets from the festival, and there would be this big meal at his place. And I would love for us to have that happening again. But I will stop talking and we will hear this great poem from Michelle St. Bernard.
My little brother was a motherfucking sucker punch. Good boy, he was good, better than me, and I'm the best, so I guess he was perfect, fucking perfect, and that's worse if you're nursing a grudge against God, which I am. Too good to be here, true, so now he's not. Too real to be here, so now he's not. He's not. My brother is dead are the worst words conceivable, therefore unbelievable how many brothers I accumulate like spares, so if one dies, who fucking cares? But opposite the plan, my growing clan only multiplies the pangs as my hand releases land over the lid of another casket. Sorry if I'm a basket case. But at least I'm not a murderer. God is. God is a train on a track. God is a mistimed lean back. God's a fucking hack, I really mean that. Smiting his soul last deity. My brother was good, but he preferred the word nice in spite of his life not quite living up to it. He talked fast, but it was worth learning to listen because his vision was burning. Even in prison, he was learning. He was loving this existence. He was good to go the distance, even with us on his back if he had to. Legs less sturdy back in the days of crack, but he owned it. If he toned it down, he'd have been lying, so he blasted. He's the one that should have lasted. Lips pulled back, revealing teeth, lungs expanded full. He's holding vapor. He'd give you his last rolling paper if you needed it more.
Facts.
He'd give you mouth to mouth if you were bleeding disease on the floor. He would save your life at the possible price of his own, if he had to, which he didn't. But he did, till he didn't, till he couldn't, till then, when he was murdered by God, who is a murderer. You heard? So give me back what was taken, or I'm gonna raise hell. You can't just do what you want. I am wanting as well. Sun, sea, land, air. You think you're fucking clever. Who the fuck died and made you everything ever? I know nothing's ever gonna be the same. Things shifted when he left, like they did when he came. And everyone, everywhere knows who's to blame. Oh God, 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 you son of a bitch.
So we have someone in here tonight who, a committee of folks who knew Zaccheus and know a lot of the poets in the community of Northern Turtle Island. We've chosen this person because they came into the community as a young person and in Hullabaloo. And they have shepherded others along the way with them as they have come up through slam and through all of the other forms of sharing word that are possible through their body and their spirit. And so I would really love for you all to give a warm round of applause and welcome Angelic Goldsky to the stage to receive the Zaccheus Jackson Nyce Award. And this is how Zaccheus would have given it, so.
I would love to say some things. Hi. I'm kind of overwhelmed with emotion. I prepared a speech, but I'm not going to read it. Zaccheus, I met Zaccheus when I was like 14. I think he died when I was 16. I remember him being so electric. And I also remember his Facebook status that he wrote that was like, I ate a banana, I ran 10K. I wrote a poem, I ran another 10K, I ate another banana. And I was like, I want to be like that when I grow up. And so I don't know, I guess I am. So yeah, shout out to Zaccheus. Yeah, when I received the email about this, I was so stunned. Like I literally am still stunned, but I was in High Park in Toronto, and yeah, I just had this moment where two birds came, and I felt like one of them was Zaccheus, and one of them was Matt, who died, who was a teenager when he died, and he was a poet in Hullabaloo. So I wanted to just give a moment of noise to both of them, Zaccheus and to Matt. If you knew them, if you didn't, yeah, in 3, 2, 1, yes. Give it up, show the love, show the love. Yes, yes, yes. And, you know, and both of them, it was just like it was so simple. They just gave me a wink, these birds. And I was like, I know what's up. And it was just this feeling of like, you belong here, you know? And I know that, you know, through being a part of this community for 15 years, which is wild, but it's been, you know, there's been rupture, there's been repair, there's been heartbreak, there's been healing, there's been a lot. And for the role of being a householder, which I feel like Vancouver Poetry House really is, it's so fierce. It's a fierce-hearted thing to be a householder, to just stand there through all of the trials and tribulations and the movement and the growth. And yeah, it's a real honor to be walking in this path for real, for real, for real. And yeah, I guess, I mean, there's so many things I want to say, but I just really want to shout out all the people who like literally raised me, and who like literally raised me and kept raising me and still raise me, and all the people that, you know, we rise together, and I hope that we just keep rising together for real. Like, poetry is so important, and space for the sacred and space for the profane is so important, and that's what we do here together. And yeah, it's just magic. We make magic, you know? And okay, last thing I'll say, and then I'll get off the stage, is just Jillian Christmas. Maybe I'm misquoting this. So, but I remember like 10 years ago, I saw Jillian Christmas perform a poem, and she said, the only thing we can do is love each other harder. And I think that is the spirit of what poetry can do and what building community can do. And through the thick, through the thin, through the scores, through all the stuff, it's like all we can do is love each other harder. And I am so, so honored to receive this. I am literally stunned still. And I'm just really, really grateful for all the people here. So yeah, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Zaccheus. Thank you, Matt. Thank you to all my mentors. You know who you are. Yeah, thank you to all the people. Let's keep doing this. Yeah.
I thank you so much. Thank you, Angelic. And Johnny Trin, back to the stage, friend.
Every year we have people complain that they want to get to the poetry. Well, fuck you. We had to do this first because we had to do this first. All right. I keep saying this, we all keep saying it, that the world's on fire. And we know that truly genocide is happening, forced migration is happening. There's an active danger to queer and trans and female voices that's happening right now. And I just want to give some flowers more to Angelic, because one of the core reasons why they got nominated and what really was an important feature of their work is their dedication to community. And they have absolutely created safer spaces online, virtually, and in person for trans voices and poets. So thank you so much for supporting community and doing that work. And I say this because we can give an award, but you can give money. You could fund some work that's happening. More than anything, thank you for your kind words around holding up a house. And I've been saying that, you know, there's many people here who have been keeping the walls and doors up, and folks get tired. Things need to be replaced, but there has been replacement. We were off for a year and a week. And within a week of us saying, we really need a break, everybody, a new open mic started from community. And within 2 months, another open mic and poetry series started just east of us for our community. So it's working and it's happening. I asked this week of many poets in workshops saying, and I'm going to ask all of you, who here has ever heard a life-changing poem? Please have your hands up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I asked a lot of the poets, like, who here has shared a life-changing poem? And like 2 people with their hands up. Like, what are you doing? Love your work. You are changed. Your life has changed. And I can remember in 2002 or 3 is when I first heard a poem on Russell Simmons' Deaf Poetry Jam. And I'm like, who is this person that looks like me? And that changed my life. That started this career path that got here. And it was always a dream of mine to bring this human to this stage, to share that work with all of you. And so, now you can have some poetry. After I read this bio. Oh, you know what? No, you're not going to do that. Because we've been sitting here for about 15, 20 minutes, and maybe you need to pee. So if you need to pee, there's a bathroom right there, and a bathroom behind me up there. Just be quiet about it. Cool? Great. And that one there, the door's broken. You can close it, it'll work, but if you lock it, you'll be stuck in that room with your own shit. So, take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, okay? We good. Other important business, I will say this is important, is that we are grateful because I talked about money, and money unfortunately matters for now, and we want to thank the Canada Council for the Arts. We want to thank the Department of Heritage. We want to thank the Province of British Columbia and British Columbia Arts Council, the BC Arts Council, and the City of Vancouver. And when there are so few resources, especially because of what's happening in America and everywhere else, organizations band together, share resources. So a big love to the Push International Theatre Festival, to Historic Georgia Gowa House, to TEDx Surrey, to Vancouver Film School, and to Chill X Studio. You want to give love to this space? Tip Jason, just give money and then get a beverage if you want. Cool. All right. Bio time and then poetry. Did I lose my page? I totally lost my page. That's fine. Here we go. No, cancel. Here we go. And, oh dear. There we go. My hero, Beau Sia, is a Tony Award-winning poet and world-renowned performer. Featured in all 6 seasons of Russell Simmons Presents Deaf Poetry, and the winner of 2 National Poetry Slam Championships. He's the author of poetry books A Night Without Armor 2, The Revenge, and the undisputed greatest writer of all time. And there's a book back there that is also available from Beau Sia that you can purchase for $20. Canadian. Canadian, no less. Here's the deal. He has been mentoring youth for organizations such as Youth Speak, Urban Word, and Get Lit. And Beau currently lives in Los Angeles, so we're sorry about that. And please move up here. We will welcome you with open books. Give it up for Beau Sia!
Okay, I'll do that too. Whatever the verb is, I'll do it. Man, you gotta lower the sentences, like 2 words max, bro. I didn't understand, but I'm assuming it was an action to take. Consider it done. Okay. Thank y'all so much for coming out to listen to poetry this evening. We seem to be in a literal age, you know, in which definition is causing us to be disconnected from one another. So if you don't mind, let's share a moment together for poetry. You feel me? So here we go. I'm gonna need y'all vibes. I'm gonna need y'all vibes. I'm gonna see some of them vibes. Don't worry, I'm gathering it. Cool. Vibes aplenty. A prayer for the poets for the fragile, for the tender, for the yearning, for the hungry, for those who seek love and know love and dream love and hope love and give us sense that love, yes, not love, no, love, yes, as if yes could be every part of electricity in our body the way science intended us to shock each other, not with that could be graphic and horror and terror and trauma, but that which could be beautiful and soft and gentle and embracing and comforting and holding us in the way that we'd always wanted, because that is how we were designed. It is time for us to allow our design poetry seeping through our veins, breaking through the rigid boxes built as little grids that have allowed us to not only see the future but live stuck in the past. Can you hear that rotating? It's a cyclical line. It's a repeating verse. It's time to elevate ourselves outside of volume and into the depths of what content can give us besides consuming more of it. Here we are, y'all. Lovers of poetry. Can we find it within ourselves? Wanters of the word. Can we allow it when we feel like cowards? Those who wish to take a sequence and make it more than a sentence. Those who wish to take an order and find out if spells are really the magic that we are made of. Here we are. Allow yourself to be a poem, to hear a poem, to let a poem walk outside of this door, because tomorrow you will be told to sell yourself for $1. And there's a part of you that needs to hang on to the gift that is in tonight. Thank you. So earlier, I taught a workshop about performance. And so to those who attended the workshop, thank you. That was an example of freestyling off the vibes. And that's kind of an intro piece you want to do when your set is going to be laid back cool, right? So tonight, this is kind of the style of set I'm doing. It allows for more mistakes, less technical mastery. Normally, I would do theatrical big. 2,000, 3,000 seat theater, big gestures, choreographed movement. It's a lot of work. I'm 48 years old, okay? This is a nonprofit venture. Let's stay where we are, y'all. Let's stay where we are. You feel me? That's the problem. People live beyond their realities. That's why we fucking each other up. So let's just be where we are. Cool? Thank you. Boom, like guns. Because I'm an American. That's so fucked up that the first thing I thought was guns. I'll be like, flower, bloom, gentle, guns. Wrong. No, dog, not at all. I was listening to y'all radio, and it's very interesting. And I know there's a debate in the world about who we're going to be in the future, and what we're going to do about it. And I know a lot of people like to focus on a lot of topics about that. Did I? Oh, thank God. Yes. Yes. I'm 48, so I'm going to need these. Okay. Because they didn't print my book in 16 point. So that's just what I'm going to do. So every book you buy gets me one step closer to LASIK. So if you want me to look sexier on stage, you know the path. This poem focuses on escapism. So in the dealing with what the world is going to be, this is just dealing with those who love the escapism aspect of it. And apropos, it is titled Can't Run Far Enough. Woo! It's all happening, and I keep acting like I can't escape it. As if the knife can stop the hurricane. as if meditation alone prevents famine, as if the race war is a logical progression of thought. And then poof, all gone, and no loose ends, as if fat chance, no luck routine on this entitlement of outcome got coping through addiction, waiting for saviors to set me free, got superhero sequels on the brain, got off the pedestal, and saw what muck we been festering. Oh, how we cheer for ourselves to miss the point eloquently, dining out on luxuries till the meteor arrives, wishing on a revolutionary poster that can be gift wrapped and easy on the conscience, delving into the silo to be comforted while the core quakes, dimming the lights so we don't have to see around corners, denying the measles metaphor in every blinding privilege, and I'm sitting in my complaints box, begging to be read by the powers that be, as if I could spark more than a head nod. We be powerless in our concession to masters that knew we'd never read the terms of service, and I'm doing just enough to be ahead of whack place, like that will keep the wolf from bearing down on my neck, as if I can make the solution what's agreeable to the stomach. The gut receives what the tongue is tricked by, want to share the next movement, but I only know what's wrong with the rote choreo we think will win the championship. It's still escapism if you can't let in the world as it is to understand who you are. Most wake choosing to walk backwards to stay along familiar lines. And all of these go bags spell out where the living are unwilling to work. Ain't no Costa Rica for any of us to go to. Can't think your way out of the dragon's lair, especially when the smell of fear draws the fire of your reckoning. Thank you. You might not know this because of my stellar appearance, but you are looking at a broken man. And so that is why I did choose this set style tonight, is that it accommodates my emotional fragility. That being said, I'm at that point in my life where, I'm very grateful to everyone that's let me read the words out loud. So I do some that I wrote it, I do some that I made it up, and then I do some that I just did just now. So before I came to my workshop, I just want to do a little tap in with myself, like, what's today's poem, Beau? Because y'all don't know this, but all your great poems come after the shitty ones. Yeah, I printed this out big. Okay. All right. This is called 4/19/25. Broken man with a frown face. Don't know who I am anymore. Living the privilege to work on permission. Don't have permission to work on permission. The win is if I don't punish myself for being myself today. Still sleeping on the floor where it's safe. All this bloating and nothing to show for it. Was supposed to tell my friends, but then I didn't because. Only watch movies that can randomly be interrupted by uncontrollable sobbing. I'm spending too much money on feeding myself, the voice says. The voice says so many things I'm ashamed to even write down. The voice, obviously, isn't mine. It's not my voice. It's just a voice. The voice made me sign an NDA by holding my history hostage. I went where people were many days in a row. I did not get mad at them. I pat myself on the shoulder. I did not get mad at them for smiling when inside I'm clearly so sad from being disgusting. I'm so disgusting. and not even a man, the voice says. I always do this. I never do that. Oh no, I'm returning to old patterns that are still now. Be still now. My therapist, which is something my sister pays for, says I'm doing the work. I got out and left with nothing, not even so much. I don't know if that's the work. I just know I never thought I could, but then I did. And now, now. Man, I've been learning so many lessons lately, y'all. You really need to read about a thing that's called a narcissist. That shit will blow your fucking mind. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things people always say, people always be saying to you, like, don't ghost someone, right? That's fucking bullshit. I know this on facts. There are some people you have to ghost. Not in a comical way, but you have to ghost. And I don't want anyone to feel guilt, like they are bound to people out of some sort of thing when their safety is at stake. Ghost the fuck out. Okay. And in accordance with that, you may have to, burn some bridges in your life. So this is about that. Oh, man. Come on, faster. Oh, thank you. Jesus Christ. I have immigrant parents, and so I will just unnaturally get impatient with myself as I'm failing completely. I'll just count seconds as if I'm losing opportunity. Fucking crazy. All right. It's true. Sometimes the poems aren't the poems. Anyway, back to Casual Cool, y'all. Where I'm reading from the book you will buy because I'm holding it in your fucking face. That's right. This is called Out of the Ashes, where many of us find ourselves. Burned all the bridges that led me away from home, that chained me to belonging to other families, that could only see me in the sunlight, that only allowed in aspects of me to remain near their warmth, burned all the bridges, because there was no other option. Unseen after countless christenings, whatever ratio breaking my resolve, taken for granted the eternal du jour. Learned the hard way you can't convince a rock to listen to water, which it could have been resolved hallmark easy. Alas, people aren't easy when refusing to accept the hurt they bring, would rather kill you with denial than consider they're harmed. Burned all the bridges as my get out. My insecurity, still susceptible to the but I didn't mean to, can still get fooled by a don't look at it that way. Crippling doubt could rise off of a that's not what this is about. Learning to trust myself enough to break from those who play people like house rules Monopoly. Molotoved all of it to make sure they couldn't exploit my shame. Burned all the bridges and don't feel lonely away from all I've known. Burned all the bridges and eager to build for myself what I unfairly sought elsewhere. Burned all the bridges and they're not supposed to understand. Burned all the bridges and realized many paths must end to find your own. Burned all the bridges and can't be claimed by those who have hung me on the wall. And discovered the power of honoring self in order to connect to all. All right. So I do, I was like, for a while, I was doing poems on Instagram before I just cleared out my whole Instagram. And I made up this kind of poem called an ureo. And so this kind of poem, you recite the title of the poem before each line. Okay? So I am going to recite the title of this poem 25 times in a row. Right? Because there's 25 lines of the poem, right? You are welcome to recite it with me. I know there's a lot of social pressure to not do things like that. So I'm not expecting it. I got a loud voice. It'll be okay. But hear me out. Here's my argument for, okay? Just hear it out. Argument for doing it 25 times in a row, which will get boring after 4 times. 1, you are in a live experience. The more things you do here that you can't do in front of a TVs, in front of a hand computer, the more alive you will feel, okay? Number 2, people respond to frequency by design. The greater the frequency reflected and repeated within this room, the greater chance that that impact actually occurs, right? 3, yes, not tangible, feelings level, but feelings leads to tangible, so less respect, okay? And number 3, we are losing connection with each other. You need safe ways to practice. Okay, now. This poem, so this is the title we're going to, of course, because we're not psychic, I'll use my hand to be like, we're going to say it right now. Right, so it's going to be like, title of the poem, title of the poem, title of the poem, line, title of the poem, line, title of the poem, line. Right? Cool. Don't have to do it. I got you. But I trust you're going to want to do this. This poem is for whoever you are out there, because you actually might be me. And I'm so proud of you for having the courage to come out tonight. I know there is so much beyond your control, and you might not feel like you're in a place for people, but your willingness to engage, to be a part of something, is going to lead you further out of the place you may find yourself in right now. This poem is called Stay With Us. Okay? Stay with us. Though the world acts like you don't belong here at all, stay with us. Though you feel friendless in the lonely of modern world, stay with us. Though your time in world has thus far been story of hurt, stay with us. Though each day gets colder in world burning before your eyes, stay with us. Though world you were taught never been world as it is, stay with us. Because you run the show, not your depression. Stay with us, because your gifts have yet to turn into your destiny. Stay with us, because you got miracles scheduled for serendipity. Stay with us, because your lack is a life to shame your lovely unique. Stay with us, because you are worthy of dreaming out of worthless. Stay with us, who won't punish you for not enabling white entitlement. Stay with us, who embrace the parts of you erased from land of screens. Stay with us, who will encourage the soft you hid to survive the past. Stay with us, who know you're enough even when titled on rage spirals. Stay with us, who want to be a part of each of your loves blooming. Stay with us, instead of checking out until you can't come back. Stay with us, even when the blade tells the most seductive lie. Stay with us, rather than push away all who are open arms for only you. Stay with us, over suffering among haters just to quicken your passing. Stay with us, though you question the truth that exposes the lies you believe. Stay with us, and let tomorrow be the possible it's always been. Stay with us, and lead us through feelings that guide us back to joy's door. Stay with us, and learn how you're needed without need to prove your worth. Stay with us, and lean on shoulders eager to show up for you. Stay with us, and leave behind the path of death as the only way to go. Thank you. So, I just wanted to say, I understand it's tough times, and if you don't got money, don't feel obligated to buy my book. But do feel obligated to receive more poetry. Do feel obligated to do more with it than agree with it. Do feel more obligated to allow yourself to be changed by poetry. You are at that time in your history. If you're lost, if you're wondering, if you're confused, if you're like everyone else, figuring out how to be adaptive, figuring out how to be liquid, figuring out how to make it to the next day, I'm telling you, you are correct. Now is the time. You do not have to do it as you did it the day before, because it is no longer the day before. Now is the opportunity to allow your imagination to bloom you out of this hell that is brewing amongst us all, and I am talking world. Nowhere is safe just because we are here. It will require us to make it so, and you have it within you, I trust. Thank you. Have a good night.
Give it up for Beau Sia. If you can't, fine. But you're welcome. I have a dear friend who is a performance artist, Holly Timpiner, who does endurance work, and this feels like endurance work. Shit. All right. Well Played is the book. $20, please. Yeah. How was that, folks? Was it good so far? Were you listening? Were you actively listening? Good, because we also have active listeners. And into the next half, we've got, what? You asked me to talk about it, right? I'm talking about it. I'm kidding, I love you. So can you please stand? This is Angelica Solomon and Nico Smart, well-renowned poets also, and they're here as active listeners. So as we go into break in a moment, and throughout the night, if you are feeling things, if you're engaged by things and you want to stay with us, but you can't quite stay right here, right now, they've got things like Play-Doh. We got blankets, snacks, stuff, and just space for you to hang out. Sound okay? Also, if you have any complaints, please talk to them. Quite seriously, they are the ones who receive feedback for us because sometimes we're busy. And just before we go to break, I just wanted to do a quick thank you. Is that all right? Over to this side, my right, your left, is Be Weird and Brad Morden from Vancouver Poetry House's Poetry Lab, but that's completely wrong. Poetry Lab TV, they help out, they live stream, they do work every year. They fly from around the world to come do this thing. So VPH loves you. Thanks so much. Give it up for them. Yeah. There were so many people that came from Alberta. I almost called the Calgary Individual Slam. I don't know why, because there were like 7 of you. But I know, but that's not biased. I'm just going by numbers, okay? It's the Canadian Individual Slam in Vancouver. Thank you. But our host and our term director are dear friends. Give it up for Matt Miller and Cobra Collins. Another local poet who is going to be awesome, and host is Tawa Humbiga. Give it up. Give it up soon. Like I said, this year has been a fucking shit show for a lot of people, for a lot of things, and I would not have made it through without some dear friends. Give it up for our Operation Coordinator, Johnny McCrae, Inclusion Coordinator, Sonia Littlejohn. All right. I have done all the things, said all the things. Right now, your job is to go buy books, support artists, buy things from art, buy beverages, tip people, go smoke. If you smoke, go outside around the parking lot because right out these doors, we'll bring it right back in here and we don't need that, okay? Bye. See you in like 5 minutes. Music.
Is this helpful right now, actually? Are you fixing something? No? Okay.
minute call, 2-minute call. Children, back to your seats. It's been longer than 2 minutes, but hey, it's camp, so whatever. Category is poetry. Hey everybody, how you doing? You back? All right. School is in session, or camp, I don't know. This metaphor doesn't work anymore, but I'm going to read some things. It's 2025. It is Vancouver Poetry House's birthday. Well, the festival's birthday. 15 years, 15 festivals. What's up? Hey, all right. And it is also the year of the wooden snake. Yeah, yes, wood and snakes. Either way, phallic. This is a space of truth. Call me a liar. That's what I thought. So the snake is a sign associated with wisdom, transformation, and calmness. The year is believed to be positive for many, potentially life-changing, and symbolizes healing and rebirth. There are some people here that make that possible, and those are our volunteers. So I want to give a big shout out and big love to Mia and folks in the back, and especially to Andrew Sutherland back in that corner, who has been stamping you diligently because you're all of age, because you want to buy some things, yes. Because I look like I do, I did the math. That was a race joke, thank you. But it's true, I did the math, and per hour, that human has matched most of us organizers who are going 15, 18-hour days, and big love to that human being. Yeah, right? And if you feel bad for someone working 18-hour days, you know what you could do? Thank you. And also that, yes. Who said that? Yes, thank you. I will take your monthly donation, thank you. So if you were interested in volunteering, even virtually or whatever, we take all the support we can get. Please reach out to inclusion@vancouverportraits.com. And then there you go. Speaking of snakes, I actually don't love a lot of snakes. I prefer birds. I'm a rooster, I'm a cock. I'm committed. That said, there is one snake that I do love. This one slithered all the way from Calgary. You saw what I was doing right there, okay? This person is an incredible poet, an incredible designer, communes with spirit, and is glorious and fabulous, gowned with drapery and awesome sneakers. Give it up for your host of the second round right now, Cobra Joe Cullen!
I don't even really like snakes that much either. Fun fact. But I do like me most of the time. And I do like you guys. So thank you. Can we get a huge round of applause? How excited are we for our finals? This is the week, and we're doing it. Now, I'm sure most of you have been to a poetry slam before, but am I correct in thinking maybe some of you haven't? Is there anyone that hasn't? Okay, so... yeah, some of you are lying to me, and that is great. I love being lied to because that sets up this next bit, right? Which is the rules. They are the same as a regular poetry slam. Let's assume you don't know what that is. That is... do I even know what they are? No musical acts. So, like, if a sound is coming from your body, that is fine. I mean, like, use your discretion with that as well. There is no nudity, there is no costume, there is no prop, and there is no animal acts. We missed the animals. That brings us to that. What else is there? Do we need like a bigger rundown? I feel like you guys have been here for the entire week. You understand what's happening. We have a big night ahead of us. I was going to try and channel Tawaham and come up here with this, like, energy, which we love. And that energy will be coming up later. I currently do not have it in my ability. So I'm just going to, like, softly cradle you into the first part of our slam. Judges, where are you? Put up your cards. No, I will need to see them. I need to see them in the air. Okay, so we have... this is how you use a mic stand poorly. In case you are wondering. We have judges. We've got, again, one more. Sorry, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got her. Wonderful. So judges, thank you so much. First of all, it is a thankless job. We are going to yell at you, but we do love you and you are necessary for the night, or it would just be us, like, yelling poems at one another. Judges, do we know what's coming next, guys? What are we waiting for right now? That is correct. So judges, this first poet of the evening is here to calibrate you for the rest of the night. They are not a part of the competition, but they are going to be performing like they are. I'm not going to give you a ton of time, so I need a 3, 2, 1 scores up. Use that score to kind of inform the rest of your night. Score creep is a real thing. Our drinks flow, our night goes on, we get tired, and our scores get higher and higher and higher and higher. We don't want that. Not tonight, though. Tonight is a different night. Right? Consistency is key, and you guys have got this. And again, it is a thankless job, so thank you for doing it anyway. And job implies you get paid, which you do not. So without further ado, audience, judges, community, are we ready for our blood for the night? Okay, let's get it rolling. Let's get those claps going for Kelly Mary McAllister.
You said, have a rice cake. They're a great snack. I can't tell if you truly believed that or if you simply wanted it to be true, wanted to be nourished and satisfied by a thing more air than substance. Perhaps you had taken the old axiom too literally. You are what you eat. You wanted to be airy and light, not solid and thick. We are porridge people, Mom. Why are you always trying to make us into vegetable sticks? You told me it was a great snack as you placed a styrofoam puck in front of me, waved a hand, eat, eat, as if the object in front of me was food. Not packing material for fragile items. Not a coaster for a cold drink, not bedding for my beloved pet hamster. Why was only the hamster allowed to be round and cute? You told me you had purchased multiple flavors. I'd recently seen The Princess Bride. I don't think that word means what you think it means. You were unamused. You didn't often play with me. But now we played pretend together, nodding frantically as we chewed and chewed and chewed. I could hear you counting the calories expended as our jaws worked. The confusion of my ancestors cried out from the DNA in every cell of my body as I worked those tough bites of nothingness around my soft palate. Farmers, the lot of them. Scottish, Irish, Ukrainian. Pale people who like potatoes. Maybe that's why I was shaped like one. I manifested a culinary destiny, built to endure famine, but living in a time of recreational starvation, cosmetic hunger. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. For me, skinny feels like the dry, pebbled surface of a rice cake, barren, a desert of no dessert. In my hunger, I spent too much time ruminating. What is the purpose of food, fuel or fun? Why would things taste good or bad if that didn't matter? I was so hungry all the time, the dry styrofoam texture making me gag as I dreamed of all the food I'd eat when you couldn't see. I thought, what did I do to deserve this? But I knew. I was weighed down. I was weighing you down. You wanted me to fly. I just wanted a snack. We were the rice cake generation. The veterans of the war on fat, ironically, eventually the fattest generation to date. We lost the war with rice cakes. They don't make great ammunition. We grew up, and we celebrated this loss with real cake, chocolate, and therapy to deal with the eating disorders and the lies we were told, starting with have a rice cake. They're our great snack.
Okay, judges, this is the most amount of time you're going to get. Let's keep it going for Kelly Mary McAllister. I do want to say, so this format is our top 10 finalists from the entire festival here tonight for you. It is 3-minute rounds. Time penalties still apply, so you've got a 10-second grace, something to keep in mind, poets especially. Like I said, you don't want to lose because you were a little bit slow. Although we recognize the time is also a colonial construct, we are working within it. So that's just a note there. Judges, I forgot to say that at the beginning, so you got more time now. That is it. 3, 2, 1, throw them up. We have, in no particular order, a 7.8. Tell them what you think. We have a 7.9. We have a 9.6. And we have a 7.3. Let's keep applauding our poet, not our points. Wonderful. So on deck here, this is it. What? Where's the fifth score? 8.5. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. No, well, the other day I forgot to take them entirely and just walked off stage. So we're doing better. Okay, so on deck, this is it. This is the official start to our finals night here. Let's get it going. On deck, we have Maya Spoken. Coming up right now, we have 1990s Chris.
I bring him flowers because I'm not sure what else you're supposed to do. No one really talks about this bit. I tell him, well done for being alive. I'm glad you didn't, He says, well, I did try. I say, I'm glad it didn't work out. That he never finishes a project anyway. But I'm glad he didn't finish this one. I see in his face an ease I haven't for a while. I don't know where to start. That night, the report, the phone call, Sam trying to find the words to tell me, I don't think that's why I'm here. Not exactly. So I just say, I bought you some stuff. Hold the grocery bag towards him. He takes it gingerly and looks like he wants to say sorry. I hand him the flowers, the yellow contrast, the red brick of the terraced house. It's harder to watch when you know exactly what's happening. I know what it feels like to check your phone like that. To be on standby for someone else's manufactured crisis. I don't know how to ask him to come with me, to leave these bricks to ruin. That I have been in the same house with the same face staring down the same future, which is just a history repeating itself, where everyone tells you to leave, where you tell everyone it's fine. That this is love, until you decide it isn't, and you give up on what feels like everything before everything that you are is taken from you, or you don't. I want to think that no one could be so small enough to stay, but we have too many examples too close to home that prove us wrong. The tiny boxes left in the corners of garages, the women of our families, the last remaining traces of who they were before they tried to love someone at all costs. Some people will have you in a grave to prove you cared. I tell him there's a book in the bag. It's about quantum physics. I don't know if it's good, because I'm not a fucking nerd. But I think that he'll like it. It's about space, I guess. How sometimes we are small. How sometimes that thought can feel good. I just want him to know that there is so much more out there. When I look at the frame of the man in the frame of the door, I think about how we're just boys. I'd like to think that being a man is about loving the boy that you were, but we have no examples of this. He tells me he loves the book, that we should go for coffee. I tried to secure a time and place too quickly. He says he'll let me know. Thanks me for the flowers. I tried to tell him why I'm there. The flowers were cheap. I was just passing. I needed an excuse to knock the door. I didn't know what else to do. I tried to say I love him, but it comes out like, let me know about the coffee. As he closes the door, I try not to see its flaky painted wood as the lid of a coffin. Some people will have you in a grave to prove you cared.
And we're going! And we're off! Judges, I'm going to take all 5 of your scores this time, I promise. If we can throw them up in 3, 2, 1, tell them what you think. Let's go. We have a 8.3, a 9.0, an 8.8, an 8.3, and a 7.6. Let's applaud our poet. We have Lindsay on deck coming up to the mic right now. Let's keep this energy going for Maya Spoken.
Have you ever seen a crucifixion? Someone with arms outstretched, willing to die to save man from the consequences of his sins, because I have. See, I grew up in church, where little girls are taught that sacrifice is an honorable act of love, that there is beauty in hanging yourself to die for the sins of man so that they may escape the consequences of their actions. And I'm starting to think that might be why I was told to stay quiet about the sins committed against me by the youth pastor. I'm starting to think that's why girls are taught to be silent, and why men aren't taught not to give them stories to speak about, why so many uncles sit at dinner tables they shouldn't be welcome at anymore, why it took minutes for girls to be dress coded at my high school and 10 years for the predatory teacher obsessing over their clothes to be arrested. I'm starting to understand how women have been forced to take the blame, why when someone is assaulted, people ask, what was she wearing? Society will dress women in body bags and unmarked graves to protect men in suits and ties with CEO before their name, but suits and ties are not bulletproof, and I refuse to let silencers turn me into a human shield. They say behind every great man is a great woman, but the truth is that behind a lot of what we think are great men is the success paid for through someone who's being kept silent, or someone who is crucified when they don't. Ask me if I've seen a crucifixion, and I will tell you every single day I watch women abused by their husbands, expected to smile with their lips sealed to protect his name, arms outstretched in an act of sacrificial giving, taking on the cooking, the cleaning, the shame of abusers they were not meant to carry. When my high school boyfriend trafficked me, He groomed me to be a sacrifice, and the worst part is, I couldn't even receive justice without piercing the wounds again and again, only to never even find myself a glimpse of redemption. When elders complain that there are so many women who don't stay in their marriages anymore, I want to say, isn't it a good thing that there are still so many women? Doesn't it mean that they aren't dying anymore? Isn't it beautiful that women are choosing to be mayhem instead of martyr? Wouldn't you rather see higher divorce rates than victims of violence committed by a partner? Isn't it time we stop normalizing a world where women are crucified for the sins of men? For every woman made a martyr, I say, let's be a reckoning. I grew up in church where little girls are taught that sacrifice is an honorable act of love, but today I want girls to be taught that pain is not the price you pay to receive the love that you deserve. Love doesn't make you a sacrifice. It doesn't call you to be a crucifixion with pierced holes in your hands. Love, when it comes, will make you whole instead.
Let's keep it going for Maya Spoken. I feel like judges, you know the drill. You know the drill. 3, 2, 1, put them up. We have a 9.7, a 9.3, a 9.4, a 9.5, and a 9.6. Let's applaud our poet and keep it going. On deck, we have Chuki coming up right now. We have Lindsay. Let's keep it going for Lindsay.
The average lifespan of a fruit fly is 45 days. Relatively short, yet long enough to hollow melons and sour sweet bodies. We girls are citrus, all sticky sweet tang dripping golden. There is a dangerous misconception that men are less gluttonous when they call you friend. But every woman knows the statistic. They say it's usually someone you know. They say we can't help but conjure appetites. A man finds me in an orchard, cracks open the fragrant skin of every woman he's ever known, and calls himself a companion. I call him poacher. Pray my naivete doesn't result in a hollowed body with only rind left to account for. We get good at detecting the look of hunger. Sometimes we can catch it before it's too late. Sometimes I knew a girl once that was open-hearted passion fruit. Bore her chest gaping, cracked open like pomegranate in the swarm, hollowed her out. I tell myself we can stay friends. That the beer bottle that drowned out my no was something I could forget. That his hand down my shirt was something I could teach out of him. I bruised peach, wanted to forgive him, defend him. Found myself acting like the banana in sex ed, teaching a man about consent with my body as the lesson plan. You call me lemon, bitter, disturbed by all this pucker, that I won't ripen for you, fresh for the plucking for you, won't open and sweeten for you, won't smile for you. Don't you see my forgiveness is an empty basket I have hardened over time? I have given one too many chances and blame myself for befriending a bloodsucker in the first place. But we love our friends like brothers. We love them, and I loved you. And each of your cavities reek of rotting fruit, the white of your teeth reflecting the pulp of me you'll take with you when you leave. I know there are good men out there. But sometimes I worry a good man is made on the gardens of women he devoured first. I collect the memories of our short-lived friendships in a jar of honey and vinegar. I am soft-hearted plum, sour skin warding off the swarm. Hear the song of the citrus spirits, girls with a tender, bitter tang that beats like a bleeding heart. And no, our seeds will make root in your gut. We will grow again.
Let's keep it going for Lindsay. Judges, it's once again this time. It's happening quite regularly. You should be pretty prepared for it. 3, 2, 1. Let's see those scores. We have a 9.3, a 9.8, an 8.5, a 9.1, and a 9.2. So on deck, we've got Jules. But coming up right now, we've got Chuki. Let's keep it going. Let's keep that energy up. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
This story does not take place in a place the world was so young it did not yet have a name. Does not take place once upon a time, time was not yet born. This story is the reason time was born. In this story, there is a spider. In these stories, there was always a spider. And this spider's name is Aso. And Aso lived at the edge of the world with her 7 wives and 77 sons. As she told stories to the wind and the rain and the snow in their seasons. And when the rain did not come in its season, she asked her favorite sons, Kweku and Kwame, to visit the heavens to ask God for the rains. And when the rain arrived, they did not find God. Instead, they found a creature they had never seen before. The creature was you, the people. Why have you come here, the people asked. To give God a story and ask him to send down the rain in return, the boys answered. What is a story, the people asked. A story is how you live a life you have never lived, the boys answered. Give one to me, the people asked. So the boys reached into their mouth and offered the people their first story. Give me another, just one more, the people asked. And when one more was not enough, the people stole Kweku and Kwame until Aso told all the stories in her mouth. And when she was finished, the people turned to Aso and told her to spin a web that reaches the sky so her sons may climb down into her arms. And so she did. But this was a trick. The people used her web to escape heaven, entering the world for the very first time in search of more stories. And so insatiable was their hunger that they went to Aso's home, plucked the sacred stories from the tongues of Aso's wives, and fled to the ends of the earth. And this is why we have many languages. Why do you think they call it mother's tongue? And this is not a folktale. This is a story of first contact between story and man. And still, the people wanted more and more and more. Is this not why you have come? So I will give you one more story. But first, tell me this, poet. What if the poem coming out of your lips was humanity's first kiss? What if each word you spell is a spell, capable of covering everything that exists with what you expected? What if your bars were constitutions, founding documents for nations? What if your little sister's best friend tattooed your words over her scars, and this is why she survived? What if your autistic nephew learned to speak by reading your poems alive? What if someone's world began because you spoke? What a gift you have to give, poet. Your power is to begin time.
Let's keep it going for Chuki. And then also, because I'm not going to forget again, judges, 3, 2, 1, scores up, please. We have an 8.5, an 8.3, an 8.3, an 8.7, and a 9.0. Let's keep it going. On deck, we have Tahira coming up to the stage now. We're doing really good, guys. I just want to say, like, applaud ourselves a little bit. Like, but yes, coming up now, we have Jules. Let's keep the energy up, keep those applause going. We are excited.
A letter to my abuser's mother. Mary, did you know that the pit in your stomach was rotten? That the flesh you carried for 9 long months would come out of you snapping and snarling? Mary, did it hurt when you were severed? Your arms blessed with that bloody bundle of a baby. If you knew what he would do to me, would you still have wept tears of joy? Would you still have anointed his forehead with your lips? Does your joy outweigh my pain, Mary? I do not blame you for your offspring. You are a sheep, and he a wolf in lamb's clothing. Did he tear his way out of you with his teeth and his claws? Did you see the bloodlust in his eyes? Did you smell the sulfur in his smile? Mary, did you know? Did you see the signs? Did he ever come home licking his lips? His white pelt stained wine red with blood. Did he tell you it was his? And did you believe him, Mary, as all mothers must? Mary, don't you know what your son did to me? The chaos he spilled, bright red and beautiful across my life. Mary, oh sweet Mary, do you still wash his feet in the temple? Do they still turn the holy water wine red? I do not blame you for your offspring, Mary. Every man is the Messiah to his mother. But I used to be innocent, just like you. My bones jutted, my knees bruised from praying. Your baby ripped me apart from the inside out too. Mary, oh Mary, how could you not know?
One more time for Jules. I was just about to be like, on deck, up next. No, judges. Nay, nay. You have a thing to do here, much like I have a thing to do here, and we're all trying our best. 3, 2, 1, scores up. Audience, let them know what you think right away. I haven't said anything yet, but like, let them know what we're thinking. We have an 8.8, a 7.5, a 9.0, a 9.2, and a 9.0. So on deck, we have Merchant of Poetry coming up right now. Let's keep it going for Tahira.
After Anika Venkatesh. My boys think Taylor Swift is overrated, but my boys are Mitski fans, have ear piercings, had a couple of their nails painted once and didn't even call it gay. But my boys are gay, for the homies. My boys are suckers for romance novels and intertwined pinky fingers. My boys love promises they know they cannot keep. My boys are apologies waiting to happen. My boys are laughter so loud, it echoes off the lockers and down the halls, barrels into my practice room with a crescendo. My boys are hands up shouting, my bad, My bad. My boys are pockets full of bad jokes, like really bad, like yo mama jokes, like D's nuts jokes. My boys are rolling their eyes at the feminist who can't take the rape joke. My boys say it's just a joke, but my boys aren't all that funny with all their teeth bared. My boys say it's just a joke, but it sounds more like the fact that it is most likely to be someone you know. My boys are lonely. My boys talk to each other about Call of Duty, but only talk to us about the silence, the heartbreak, the scars. My boys are indifferent about Andrew Tate, about Palestine, about the alt-right. My boys say it isn't their problem. My boys aren't practiced in knowing fear like that. Have to remind them it's a privilege not to care like that. My boys mean well. Sure, my boys call me a bitch, but they don't mean anything by it. My boys listen when I ask them not to, when I say stop, when I say no. My boys are forgetful, though. My boys are just boys, but sometimes when they are driving me home, in the red of the traffic light, they look like boys my mother warned me about. Like promising young men, like a reputation too handsome to be ruined. Their shadows ask me if anyone would believe me, but this is only sometimes. What I mean is sometimes he refuses to drop me home until I tell him what is wrong. I cry in his passenger seat about how lonely university is. We talk about the way wanting feels like unanesthetized open heart surgery. We talk about childhood and God, and I want to reach over the console and hold his hand and tell him that his self-doubt is the most unreliable narrator about how the rest of his story goes. But I can't, because I know my boys are trying their best to be good, but I am trying my best to stay alive. My boys are scared of themselves, and I do not know how to tell them we are scared of them too. My boys are loved. My boys are not bad people, but I still would not trust them at the end of the world or in the dark when all that is left is my body and their hands.
Let's keep it going for Tahira. Judges, you're getting so good at this. I know you're almost ready. I know you'll be ready in the count of probably like a 3 and a 2 and perhaps a 1. A 3, 2, 1. Throw them up. Okay, in no particular order, we have a 9.8, a 9.8, an 8.8. A 9.7 and a 9.9. Up on deck, we've got Blue Jay Walker, but coming up to the stage right now, let's keep it going for Merchant of Poetry.
So my best friend, who I've been growing apart from, just got a dog. And now when they invite me over, I feel obligated to accept. Because when the silence draws on too long or weighs too heavy, I can scruff his fur. And he wags his tail, and for a second I can pretend that we are still close. Because I was entangled by you, tied together in those little knots you can never seem to get your fingers around, enamored by your cool hair and handmade jewelry. Your voice, a siren song that spoke to me in poetry you wrote in bolded letters. While I was still too afraid to use capitals, you were jagged and sharp broken pieces, where I was smoothed over like sea glass, so I became blown vessel. Melded myself into whatever form you needed to pour yourself out into. You wrote me suicide notes over text. I'd stay up all night hanging on your ellipses because it meant that there was something coming next, that in the morning you wouldn't be dressed in a body bag, but the next day you'd be in class again. Jokes poking into me like needle tips, molding me to be your quick fix. I didn't realize how thin my shell had become. until the water started to leak through the cracks. You only wanted to hear my poetry when it agreed with you. Your mouth a chisel I was always at the tip of. I'd tell you to stop and you'd say, I just need someone's wounds to throw my salt into. You'd make everything an argument. And as soon as you weren't winning, you'd commit seppuku, drive the knife into your own gut, so I had to stitch you back together again, and sometimes I feel like my skin is stinging. Maybe I've just gotten used to being your open wound, the basin to filter your ocean of swallowing mouthfuls of salt water. To make you feel better, you are sad and angry, and I get that. But I can't sustain this heat long enough to keep changing my shape for you. I made myself a lifeboat on your sinking ship because I was in love with you. And now I don't even know if I like you. The only thing keeping us together is that damn dog. Thumping his tail between the silences, giving us an excuse to tolerate each other.
Let's keep it going for Merchant of Poetry. I'm no longer adjusting the mic. I'm just going to hunch. Or stand up taller, but mostly hunch. Judges, in a hunch, can we please get our scores up? Let's go. That was counting. That was 3, 2, 1. Excellent. So let them know what you think. We have a 9.3, a 9.1, a 9.1, an 8.3, and a 9.3. Let's applaud our poet and keep it going. On deck, we have our penultimate poet, a word that I only ever get to use for this 1 week, so I use it much too much. Shaft, but in the meantime, coming up right now, can we keep it going for Blue Jay Walker?
It is too hot in the city park where billionaire debutantes flaunt wealth with layers of leather unsuited to the swelter weather, knowing they'll crawl back to AC lobbies after brief lollygags along concrete with the less well off. It is too hot. In the park, there are those of us who cannot escape, hiding beneath paltry shade. The cool dark is running across asphalt, and I have not the strength to chase. I am cross-legged and selling poems, pretending as though any of us need rhyming words even half as much as we need water. Larry the Birdman cracked an egg on the blacktop benches. We all watched it sizzle for 30 seconds. He flipped it and fed it to the pigeons. The jazz musicians melted through the sewer grates hours ago where they belong. And the hustlers hawking fake Dasani water bottles made more today than all the drug dealers combined, yet I am still selling similes, running out of reason to believe in any emphasis of meaning. Did you know the human body is comprised of only 206 metaphors? And only 2 of them are humorous. The rest are all too sincere, simple calcium connections. They are the same as when you were a child. But I can feel the marrow in them evaporating. By God's breath being sucked dry, I can feel the bones beneath us rattling. Did you know there are bones beneath this park? The city has lived many lives and sequestered those it did not desire to the great beneath us, far beneath us. I can hear them scratching to get to the surface. They are begging to feel the light we wish would leave. On television screens scream smiling children, bounding through fire hydrant geysers. Why, when the world is on fire, do we so often make it look like an amusement park? The headline reads, "Great day to cool off. There are double-digit rises in ice cream stocks and Larry died of heat stroke. I guess he didn't see the news. Must not have known it was going to be hot."
No hunching. I don't have to hunch. Let's keep it going for Blue Jay Walker. Again, we're just really ripping along here. We're running through it. We're doing good. Judges, partially it's because of your speedy judgment calls, which I know you'll keep doing. 3, 2, 1. Can we put them up? We have a 9.5, a 9.5, a 9.4, an 8.7, and an 8.2. So as we know, we are heading into our what? Thank you. But on deck, there is one actually after. Otherwise, penultimate wouldn't mean what it means. So afterwards, we have Shammy. You are on deck. Let's welcome up Shaft to the stage now, please.
Mathematics was not invented so much as it was discovered, uncovered to decipher the mysterious equations of life. Numbers do nothing more than express calculated truths, yet in spite of the indisputable, we argue the irrefutable, allow the reality of numerals to be skewed, slanted, sinuated, like 14 pages of zeros. Empirical evidence of non-resistance, hardly a chance at existence, never raised their fist in any way, dismissed as another inevitability, casualty, cruelty, causality. Kristallnacht and Nakba never sounded so similar. Mathematics became this barbarous practice in a world that can refuse the truth. How zero can be added into something substantial or multiplied into complete insignificance, like 14 pages riddled with zeros unsolved, estimating the terror of crimes committed before, but claiming we've somehow evolved. Unfilled pages are being pulled from the rubble. No time for rescue, moments to run. Desolation was their only burial, not face down at the barrel of a gun. 14 pages of little babies burned, beheaded, butchered, but believed to be butchers. A hand only capable of reaching for its mother falls in agonizing solitude. Zero may be a rational number, but not a fitting age to die. And yet unfilled pages are fading from memories like wounds healed over that retain their frailty. Human lives forgotten as yet another unfortunate treachery. The future subject of award-winning documentaries. And when it's all added together, the only truth it will uncover, the sad reality many have discovered, the blind scales of justice will never be equaled. For every spark of potential lost to decades of selfish, sinful, sickening hatred. Children are not terrorists. So how many more must die until we act? Let those kids in Gaza know when you've done the math. Free Palestine.
Let's keep it going for Chef. Judges, you know what you're doing now. You're practically professionals. Again, not being paid. I just want to reiterate. Could we throw those scores up, please, in 3, 2, 1. We have a 9.6, an 8.5, a 9.1, a 9.0, and a 9.4. Which brings us to our last poet of the first round, and then we jump into round 2 and round 3. We've got sacrifices for both of those rounds too. I will be done hosting after that, and I will just be laying on the ground somewhere if you'd like to say hello to me. But Tawaham will be up and be fantastic. In the meantime, though, please, can we get a thunderous round of applause for our last poet in this first round, Shami.
Honor, meaning great respect. Killing, meaning causing death. They call it an honor killing. I call it a juxtaposition. Two words that have no correlation, but both together is enough to divide a culture. Is enough to justify the slaughter of a daughter, all in the name of preserving a family's self-importance. A world where honor comes before life. Ego-bruised homicides for going against the grain, daring to deviate from preset notions of becoming a wife. To your parents' choice. Girls swapped for social status gains, marriage certificates assigned out of fear. The fear of becoming a statistic. A Jane Doe. Girl, be soft, pretty, well-mannered, don't make eye contact, bite your tongue. Woman, be a wife, raise kids, cook, clean, clip your wings, don't have an opinion, stay silent. Anything less, this mask of honor will shatter. They're scared to death that their deaths are inevitable, scared to death that their life is disposable. They run from home with nothing but the sandals on their blistered feet and clothes on their bludgeoned backs, escaping arranged marriages before the age of consent, but falling to the ground with the sounds of gunshots echoing and acid coating their faces like collagen masks. Acid destroying their beauty. Acid destroying their beauty. Acid destroying their beauty. Their colourful dresses traded for white sheets. Rose lips turned blue. Bodies lay beneath brown soil, abandoned in unmarked shallow graves. Blind eyes turned, handcuffs bared, anything goes where money is your friend. Corrupt cops collect coppers, anything to get closer to dollars. Your life is costly, rupees are worthless. Your honor, I object. Pockets of governments fill, keep the rich rich and the poor vicious, keep pride sacred and blood-stained hands hidden. Hide behind masks and keep honor at the forefront and bury shame with their carcasses. Dodge questions like traffic. Methodize and weaponize, strategize on alibis, keep journalists close, emotions to the camera, appeals believable. Post-mortem sprinkled with fabricated lies, disowned by their protectors. Honor killings are part of a culture, hidden behind the name of a religion. Shame camouflaged in the name of honor. Women, girls, men, boys. Murder has no bias. Names misplaced or forbidden to be acknowledged. Misogynistic families, anti-progressive ideologies forgotten like their dolls. Forgotten like their identities. Live with no guilt. Live with no fear. Religion is customized to fit a belief, manipulated and bent to fit the narrative of a sinner, all in the name of preserving whose honor?
Let's keep it going for Shami. Let's keep it going for ourselves. No, you guys deserve a bigger clap than that. My gosh, let's go for ourselves. We're doing good. Let's keep it going for our judges who are going to have their scores up in a 3 and a 2 and a 1. We have a 8.7, an 8.2, an 8.5, an 8.7, and an 8.9. And that brings us to the end. Oh, but wait, there's more. Womp womp. We have a time penalty. What are we coming in at? 3:31. Yeah, damn you, lunar time. Fuck you, lunar time. Time is a colonial construct. We could be really mad about it, but right now we don't have time to be really mad about it. So let's rage against time a little bit later. In the meantime, good one, right? I'd like to bring up my fantastic and wonderful co-host, Tawam. I don't have a clipboard to trade.
There's no clipboard. There's no clipboard. They're still working it out. I was going to say, that first round, understand, it was an amazing round. It was amazing. But I'm about to do something for scale, so that first round was curling. Right? Like the sport curling. Are you with me right now? It was still an amazing round, right? But this next round is going to be like Coliseum. You know what I mean? Like gladiator match. You know, I'm about to say farewell to some beautiful, beautiful names who did some amazing, amazing poems in this last round. Actually, just exiting the curling for a second. Just amazing poems in the last round. Please make some noise for the folks who will not be joining us in the second round. Jules, Shami, Chuki, and 1990s Chris. It would appear we have a tie for 5th place, so we got 6 people moving on to the second round. And what do you call it? I think we just go, what was I going to finish saying? One, I just got to ground myself here on stage. I'm about to be like that person. I've had a bowl of ramen today, had a few vodkas, but most importantly, there's a ceremony about this space, about a poetry slam, about the reason that we are here, and we compete so we can push our work forward. We compete so that we can actually put people in the fucking room to hear our poems. You know what I mean? Like, so I've been to a regular poetry reading. It's not like this. We finger snap to let people know we're encouraging them, right? Let's hear it. All right, now make the sound you make when you hear a line that really landed, but you have no idea what it means. See, that's the kind of energy that we want going into these next 2 rounds, right? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go into the second round because we don't need to do anything else, I don't believe. So, whoa. Blood. It's red. Sometimes it's blue. But please give a warm welcome to your first round sacrifice, Aaliyah, everyone! All the way to the stage.
She struggles each morning to get out of bed, constantly consumed by the thoughts in her head. The sadness stays with her as if it's a stain, but she won't let anyone know she's in pain. So she cries into her hands every once in a while, and the world will call her fragile. He's placed under pressures that kill him inside, but he's been taught that emotions are something to hide, so he's learned to keep quiet about all of his issues, as this child was scolded when reaching for tissues. So he broke down, can't find the courage to smile, and the world will call him fragile. They say we're becoming too soft, as if it's an insult, but if we don't take care of each other, then what's the end result? We get so caught up in this fear of our own vulnerability, we tend to forget it's our strongest utility, and maybe I'm just way too damn gentle. But you gotta think we're missing out on not being sentimental. So why is this hatred for expression something we inherit when people are most beautiful, fully transparent?
And what makes me even sadder is we convince people they're glass and then ask why they shatter. I don't understand how outward expression has become mistakable for the aspects that make those considered easily breakable. For we were made for breaking, for healing, for hurting, for loving, for living, for feeling. So if bleeding through words isn't really your style, forgive me for being just a little fragile. Thank you very much.
Keep that noise going for Alea, everyone! Judges, this is the most time I'll give you here in the second round because there was a reason I made that stupid metaphor thing. Yo, when you're giving the sacrifice a score, you're leaving some space above it so you can score people higher. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the idea of it. So it's like, that doesn't mean like if you gave an 8, that doesn't mean you think the poet sucks. Do you know what I mean? What you're saying is you have some space above it so you can score some poets higher and shit. You hear what I'm saying, right? You hear what I'm saying? Okay, judges, 3, 2, 1, up with those scores. No, you gotta put them up. That's not the time to flip things, yo. 7.5, you're doing great though. 7.5. We got a 7.2. We got a 7.7. We have an 8.5. And we got another 7.5. Give it up for the poetry and not the points. Here we go. It's all gladiator match from here on out. Make noise for your second round of the fucking Poetry Slam Sips Finals. On deck, you got Merchant of Poetry, but coming up first, you got Blue Jay Walker all the way to the stage, yo.
Is it hidden in the endless suburbs? Meaningful existence? A million nuclear family molecules earning just enough to fertilize the lawn too much? Harold, those days are wilting in the heat. All our Kentucky bluegrass kingdoms are proving to only be for the least of these. At last, alas, and always I lack. It's all the shuffle of Broadway feet. Actors deep in their method, pretending they are busboys, waiters, unemployed. How convincing each performance is, you can barely see the seams. It seems it's almost real. Dedicated and practical middle manager executive acts like he still dreams. But there are some of us who have never let money corrupt them. They act like the best of us, but in fact, they simply have not had the chance. I know 100 deadbeats who would sell their souls for a bag of Frito-Lays. Me? I have morals. I wouldn't let mine go for less than a family pack. Kettle chips, all the artisanal flavors and rough-hewn salt hauled straight from the ocean or malcontents' mouths. There are brand new mines to harvest spice from the angry youth in their spittle wind. Farm that energy which does not end, only ever transfers generations. There are those who have said, when we become old men, we will be as passionate as ever, the hippies claimed, and donned suits and ties, building new institutions to smother life. There is a brand new day waiting for us to betray our morals. Just you wait. There are kettle chips cooking. Smell them on the wind. I am already too old to be writing embittered poems at past generations in the park. It is one and the same. We are all warming up meals in the microwave oven and remembering the war, those days when Black Friday always ended with a death in the family and we thought nothing of it. How limitless and pale are the ways in which we bluster, falsify belief, build new kingdoms atop old bones, yours or mine. Eventually they all will rot. But in meantimes, we imagine we are stalwart, stainless steel, reverberating gongs of paragon virtue. But see, at the crease, belief begins to fold. The crash cymbal is made too thin to sustain the noise it creates. Each cacophony digs fissures into clattering veins. There is tinnitus already ringing in my ears. The frequency of fear and monotony overlaps to the same humdrum, makes rhythms of catastrophe and patterns passed by in beats. I suppose that's what seasons mean. And some days I cannot wait to get old and forget what I used to grieve.
Keep that noise going for Blue Jay Walker, everyone. Judges, we're going quicker about it now. That's just a 3, 2, 1, put them up. 3, 2, 1, put them up. 3, 2, 1, please put them up, please. All right, we have a 7.8. All right, we got a 9.5. We got an 8.8. We have an 8.9. And we got a 9.0. Applaud the poetry, not the points. I'm standing below 3 silver disco balls. On deck, you have Lindsay, but please make some noise, raucous noise for Merchant of Poetry, everyone. All the way to the stage.
At the end, I wondered, when you laid in a hospital bed like an empty picture frame, body wilting out of your vase, a heist of a woman with the safe doors still ajar, what could you remember? Could you still smell the tulip fields in full bloom? See the colors laid out in rows, petals prancing on the breeze? Could you still feel the weight of your entire life packed into a single suitcase? Could you remember the color of my grandpa's ski coat? The feel of the pages from the book he gave you? Can you remember why you threw it at his head? How you hit him right between the eyes? I know in the end you could not swallow. But do you remember that you used to have an accent? That your voice still held on to the taste of white asparagus and stroopwafels? That Dutch still clung to the tips of your teeth? I know in the end you could not swallow. But could you still taste the half-melted chocolate from the soldiers' rations? Do you remember if he still smelt of gunpowder as he read to you? Can you still hear the plank drop? As you sealed your father between the floorboards, hoping the Nazis didn't hear the crash below. You don't remember. I did not hear these words wrap around your tongue, your stories passed down to me like secondhand clothes. It is so painful to have gotten to know you in hindsight. To piece together shattered glass and try to find your reflection, I remember your fragments. How many times a night you greeted me and I could hear the click when your mind reset and reset and reset and reset. I remember how your weathered hands rattled like wind chimes, little earthquakes sending tectonic tremors through your fingertips, that life shook you so hard. You crumbled to dust in the wreckage, but even when held in your shaking hands the last time we spoke, the shell of you squeezed my hand in Morse code and told me, in the fragments of all the things you forgot, you still remembered me.
Keep that round of applause going for Merchant of Poetry, everyone. I'm standing between 2 ferns. All right, judges, that's enough time for y'all. 3, 2, 1, put them up. All right, we have a 9.5. We got a 9.1. We got an 8.3. We got a 9.1. And we got another 9.5. Give it up for the poetry and not the points. On deck, you've got Maya spoken, but give that raucous round of applause for Lindsay, everyone. All the way to the stage.
When the depressed girl isn't depressed anymore. Someone asks how she is, and she responds, "My day was pretty shit." It's easier to admit now that bad days are the anomaly. She smiles a lot less, ironically. The forced hook of her grin stops making a question out of her face. Tongue stops dotting ellipses into the inside of her cheek. The lines of her open palm stop resembling a run-on sentence, desperate for someone to greet her with a close. But when the depressed girl isn't depressed anymore, nothing looks like a metaphor. Her mirror is just a reflection. No longer carnival funhouse warping her perception into something frightening. Her bed is just a mattress with sheets from Costco. She is no longer ink. Bed no longer paper absorbing her like a stain or quicksand. Bed no longer a rehearsal for 6 feet under. She looks at a pencil sharpener and sees just a thing that sharpens pencils. That sickly violet and yellow color of bruised skin stops resembling a bouquet of tulips from an abusive ex-lover. She rescues her body from the clutches of sad girl similes, but wonders if depression took her poetry with it. When it left, she stamps ink blotches and scribbles into journal after journal, and sometimes she wonders if maybe sadness was the only interesting thing about her. When the depressed girl isn't depressed anymore, I feel guilty realizing how much of my identity was survival. I forget to be grateful for every day my mother wakes up and gets to be just a mother. That depression didn't write her into an alliteration of agony and anguish, didn't write her children into memories living only in picture frames and photo albums, and my eyelids stopped talking back to me a long time ago. And my God, how good it is to just sleep and wake up and feel all right. I feel all right, and it's not an analogy for anything. It's just the usual. My family and I are still on this earth together, and that might not be glamorous in its articulation, but it's also the best thing I've ever written. Because that depressed girl wanted this normalcy so badly. So I write these unpoetic Rorschach poems to tell her, to remind myself, we made it.
Keep that round of applause going for Lindsay, everyone. Outside is a rusty chain sticking out of the gravel. Judges, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. Put them up, put them up, put them up. We've got an 8.7. We got a 9.4. We got a 9.0. We have a 9.0. And we have a 9.5. Give it up for the poetry and not the points. All right, on deck we got Shat, but please give a warm, thunderous round of applause to Maya Spoken, everyone. All the way to the stage.
The ocean covers 71% of the Earth's surface. Unafraid to take up space, some say that the ocean is the planet's heart, influencing and regulating the Earth's climate. Despite the ocean being the largest living space on our planet, only 5% of it has been explored, leaving it to be a spectrum of life we are only beginning to get to know. My daughter is 3. And over a year and a half ago, she was diagnosed with what the doctor said was the most severe level of autism. So I have spent the past year and a half diving headfirst into how to be the best parent to a child on the spectrum. I learned that the ocean and autism are more alike than you'd imagine, that both have existed since time immemorial, and there is still so much left unexplored, that there are more questions than answers and information we do not know. But when my daughter, who is nonverbal, first yells water, when we drive past the beach near my home, my fears are washed away and my heart is flooded with hope. See, I've never been very good at swimming, and large bodies of water have always made me nervous, but now I have a reason to learn, and I'm excited to be completely submerged in them. There are so many people who want to explore the ocean but can't afford to. Most days I still drown in the guilt of the therapy she needed but was no longer able to afford on my own. I had to choose between rent and her therapist. Took sign language as an elective because I was desperate to teach her new ways to learn to swim. I wanted to show her that in our house, if you can't use your words, you can use your hands instead, that there is more than one way to see the ocean. And for my daughter, I will be diver, boat, plane, and cruise ship if it means her needs will be something I understand. One day, my daughter will ask me about her autism, and I will tell her that the day I was handed her diagnosis, it felt I was thrown into the entire ocean and couldn't wait to learn to swim, that I know humans have not even begun to understand the entire thing, but that I can't wait to try. I will tell her that the ocean is responsible for 50% of the oxygen on Earth, and that I love everything about her so much that I wouldn't be able to breathe without her. I will tell her I had no idea baby sharks had their own theme song. But I will sing it as many times as she needs me to if it means carrying her back to the surface of an autistic meltdown. I will tell her that the ocean influences and regulates the Earth's climate, acting like the planet's heart. That I gave her the name Aisha, which in Swahili means life, because ever since she was born, my heart beat to an even stronger drum. When my daughter asks me about her autism, I will tell her it's a lot like the ocean. That even though there are people who avoid it, there will always be people like me devoted to discovering exactly how special it is to love you. I will tell her that the ocean covers 71% of the Earth's surface, that taking up space in this world is part of her purpose. And if anyone ever tries to tell her that it's impossible to survive in the ocean, they're wrong, because we're doing it together every single day. To my daughter Aisha, love, your mom.
Keep that round of applause going for Maya Spoken, everyone. Earlier today, I saw a bunch of fruit in a Tim Hortons box, a donut box. It wasn't right. Judges, 3, 2, 1, put them up. All right, we have an 8.0. All right, we got a 9.0. We have a 9.2. We have a 9.6. And we have a 9.8. Give it up for the poetry and not the points. All right. On deck, we have Tahira, but please make a warm, thunderous round of applause for your penultimate poet of the round, Shap, everyone, all the way to the stage.
Have you ever dreamed of a world freed from hunger? More than ending the evils of war and poverty, have you pondered the possibilities of a place where people's purpose is to prosper? I often think of the hunger that occupies space in every mind. Those with no options to strive, living day by day, just trying to survive. The hunger of those who crave something more, but can't afford to chase dreams over needs. And though I agree, we should be grateful for what we have, someone having less doesn't mean you don't deserve more. It's as though every breath we take is held on credit, like our livelihood has a ransom price adjusted to inflation that charges us interest. Work for a living or don't bother living at all. It's exhausting, waking up the same time every day, told to run the same race, down the same streets, doing the same thing, told the same grind should make us feel satisfied. And yet it's normalized to allow grind culture to pulverize our bodies and bones into profit, turn this world of colorful beauty into grayscale monotony, devolve our oasis of opportunities into a dreary garden of dying dreams. And instead of outrage, we romanticize the affliction that wilts us, quick to claim the flowers are weak, but never question the environment forcing beauty to compete. It makes me wonder how much greatness never had the chance to blossom. How many Pelés only played with paper balls? Picassos painted with pinprick pigment in poverty to pay the rent. Poets like Poe who perish praying to portray the potential. How many Shakespeares slaved in sweatshops, Gillespies and Gilmores groveled in grime to get by, Einsteins that never found the time to just sit down and think. I often dream of this world freed from hunger, in which our anatomy is not the converted cog of a contraption that never once had our consent, in which our blood is not the lubricant of a machine that sees us only as a commodity. But if those are my dreams, what else is this but a nightmare? In which we believe pride is the greatest sin, yet greed and gluttony control every aspect of our lives, in which those in power fail to recognize everything we've ever needed is waiting right here. That what we hunger for the most is the potential that never makes it to the table.
Keep that noise going for shop, everyone. To my left is a plant that is like green and white flowers. It's weird to me. Usually they're different color flowers. Judges, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. Put them up, please. I'm begging. We have an 8.0. We got a 9.0. We have a 9.5. We have a 9.3. And we have a 9.6. Give it up for the poetry and not the points. On deck, you have the third round, but please give a warm, raucous round of applause for Tahira, everyone.
Mia Khalifa's Instagram bio says, "Are you even a brown girl with glasses if you haven't been called Mia Khalifa?" And of course, it is meant to be funny. The joke is on me, or her, or the brown girl with glasses. See, what makes us laugh is the misogyny. You look at us and you take. You imagine what it would be like to scar your initials into all our softest parts. Undress her of dignity, strip this body of its name, tear out my tongue and tell our story for us. The first time I hear about Mia Khalifa is in a podcast. Her name does not precede her. I do not know about the videotape. All I know is that she says something like, "I cannot go home now," or "I did not know how to say no." She says something like, "I was so young," or "I hope other women can learn from my regret." She says vulnerable and validation, and I know she means I just wanted to be seen, desired, loved, because aren't all of us brown girls with glasses just like Mia Khalifa? Bodies shrouded in shame, houses full of parents who cannot look at who we have become when all we have ever wanted is to be beautiful to someone without the threat of disgrace or dishonor, without the backhand of the family name. A director, a man, hands Mia Khalifa a script that will rewrite her life, and she laughs, says, "You know, this will get me killed," and I know she means please. Do not make me do this. And I imagine man laughs back, and I know he means I do not care, or I would shoot you myself. But instead he says action, lets the cameras roll, lets the girl die, lets her blood splatter off screen. When the death threats pick her lock, stand at the foot of her bed, Mia Khalifa is not surprised. She calls them pretty scary, like women call the Twilight Trek home scary. Like we call a room with more men than exits scary, which is to say, what is being a woman if not laughing through a mouthful of fear? What is being brown girl if not being half wanted dead? Lay you in a bed or a grave, a girl or a corpse will get the job done just fine. Mia Khalifa asks for redemption. She asks to be allowed to visit home, asks for the video to be taken down, and we laugh. Dare her to get on her knees and beg for it. Turn up the volume enough to drown out the no, convince ourselves this is what she asked for.
Keep that noise going, audience. For Tahira. There's a door that's entirely green over there. Or maybe it's not green. There's green on it. Judges, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. We got a 9.4. We got a 9.7. Make that a pair of 9.7s. We got a 9.5. And we've got a 9.9. Give it up for the poetry and not the points. That brings us to the end of our second round that I mistakenly called our first round, but was really my first round. How are y'all doing so far? Is that how you're doing? Tell us how you're doing, y'all. Yeah. We've had an amazing feature. An award went out to a dear friend. We saw so much amazing stuff here. And I'm just stalling. And I'm actually really shit at stalling, but I am really good at being kind of amusing while being shit at stalling. Do you know what I mean? I'm really good at acknowledging exactly what it is I'm doing, but here I am, like, still shittily doing it. Yeah, I'm killing it. We're killing it up here. I'm staring at the weird silver stuff over there. Yeah, yo, people even look and stuff, too. Got your goat. Actually, no, there was silver stuff, but, like, I still made you look, you know? Anyway. Is it still made you look if, like, the person didn't even, like if the thing was actually there? You still made the person look, right? It's not about fooling people. It's about making people feel like a fool. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, wow. A stand-up stage, eh? That's what's up. Can we get a round of applause for our slam primary, everyone? Matt Miller, a.k.a. Libom. He told me I'm fired. I'm just kidding. Please give a really, really warm round of applause to the folks who are joining us in the third round with their amazing poetry, and we hope that they keep on doing it. This ain't the last time you're going to be here. You know what I'm saying. All right, please, all the love for Merchant of Poetry. For Blue J. Walker. And for Lindsay, everyone. Which means your final round consists of Tahira, Schaff, and Maya Spoken. And I guess we just go right into it. Without any further kind of ado, I'm just going to go right into the round. Come on, guys. Thank you. What the fuck, man? I thought we was trained at this point. All right. Please welcome your sacrificial poet and judges. Remember, this is your recalibration. It's not based on the other ones. It's a recalibration. Totally fresh. Please make a raucous round of applause for Be Right Word, everybody. All the way to the stage.
Here's the story of a boy who used to think of calling in sick at work as the interesting adventure of swimming across the Atlantic Ocean from Spain to Canada. You see, in this boy's world, sick calls were clearly prohibited. So he juggled his breaking body every day to work and school, like a muscle, cramped up by a 5-10 pounds weight, tucked into an Olympic barbell at Planet Fitness. I bet he thought he was immortal, but I don't blame him, and I'll tell you why. I think I was 9 when my dad first told me, like a drill sergeant in the army, that the reward for any job well done was more work. He projected his voice pretty high and blasted the childlike spirit out of my eardrums like it was the last rock concert on earth. And in seconds, I became an adult at 9. I remember him asking me to carve those words like a gold chalice and let them worship every day at the cathedral of my heart. And he led by example. He walked and walked and walked until the words sounded like Christmas. And I don't blame him either. His dad, my grandfather, had raised him up with the depression of barely surviving a civil war that turned his conscience into the organizers of Squid Games. You see, one time last year, I dragged my exhausted spirits to class after breaking my body at work into fragments of who even cares. And the moment my instructor introduced a new calculation course that was going to be one of my best anyway. But somehow that night, my eyes began to see formulas in the course as gladiators, fighting for freedom in the arena of my brain, and of course, I passed out. I remember when I came back to life, I went on Google and searched for the best ways to transform my tears into holy waters for my mind's baptism. Because I had just committed 2 sins. 1, letting my mind feel vulnerable, and even worse, letting my eyes see the abominable color of tears. So I set that experience on fire and buried the ashes 10 feet beneath fake responses like, I am doing okay. See, where I come from, boys have been taught to shapeshift their mental health into car keys and TV remotes, and lose them every single day until calling in sick at work becomes a synonym for impossible. You find boys like me carrying the world on their shoulders in the name of work. And I wonder if that isn't a cultural jinx. But I'm learning to be a kind of father to the younger generation, the one who understands that it's okay to feel sick and overwhelmed sometimes. It's okay to take a break. And as a boy, you don't need to change the letters of your names to Clark Kent. And when I see the lips of your skin being French kissed by goosebumps, I'll do well to remember that you too have emotions in which one of them is stress, anxiety. I'll do well to remember that your body isn't a metamorphic type of rock. I'll do well to remember that you're a human being and not an immortal. I'll do well to remember, so help me God.
Keep that noise going for Be Right Word, everyone. Outside it's cloudy, but in here it's quite sunny. Judges, 3, 2, 1. Put up those scores. All right, we have a 9.1. We got an 8.0. We got a 7.5. We have an 8.6. And we have a 9.0. Give it up for the poetry and not the points. On deck you have Shap, but please give a raucous, warm round of applause to Tahira, everyone.
So my brown dad and the white politician walk into a bar. Someone says something racist and you think it's the politician or the bartender or the random redneck sitting in the corner, but of course the camera pans to my father and he gives the white man permission to laugh. Swears that if he does, he'll have his vote in the upcoming election. And it's funny how my father believes that if he laughs with, he's not being laughed at. And it's funny how my father throws slurs out the car window like he wasn't fresh off the boat once too, like he doesn't remember the seasickness of foreign waters, how it feels to be drowned out in the hatred, and I get it. Spent a childhood in British boarding schools, and the white man's boot starts to taste a lot more familiar than your own mother tongue. But my parents think they're better because they don't have an accent, as though it is not something that has been burnt out of them like the melting pot, like they haven't spent years trying to heal that wound, the scar they now show off at job interviews, as though sounding more white will make their bodies look any less brown under the legislation lights. See, my mother was 12 when her first Canadian swimming instructor handed her a pair of scissors. Told her here she couldn't swim with her hair long just in case of lice. Of course, this was just another way to call her parasite, to call her leech. So it is no wonder she came out bloodthirsty. No wonder she sneers at the smell of Salin in the elevator. Maybe it reminds her too much of what she lost, of what she could have been, laughing over chai in the dissipating heat of the Pakistani sun, acrylic stained with haldi and tail, ingredients she still refuses to cook with. I wonder if she's afraid of making herself home sick to her stomach because my parents cut their tongues in half, suffocated their first language under 40 years of apologies, and now have mouths haunted by mispronunciation because my parents haven't said their own names right in years. I wonder if they even remember how to correct someone when they say it wrong, how to be something other than a mistake. I wonder if my parents remember what it is like to belong somewhere, to know you are wanted there. And so when my father laughs in my face, when I tell him about the politician's anti-immigration stance, says, "So what?" I imagined he means, I wish I never came here. I wish I stayed home. home. And when my mother complains about the Indian students that moved in next door, that keep moving in across the city, across this country, says, I hope they know this isn't like back home. I imagine she means, I wish I'd known that this place is not what I was promised. I wish I had not become this. And so, after my parents spend weeks speaking in perfect English of how they will vote for the white man who vows to keep people like they once were away, they decide they are too tired after work to cast their ballot. I hold their hands unstained with election day ink, ask if they would like to grab on the way home. Instead, they say yes. I let them speak of how much better it tasted back home, how much fresher or sweeter or kinder, how much less it cost to deserve a good thing. I try to understand. And when they are asleep, I vote.
Keep that noise going for Tahira, everyone. I am standing in front of blackout curtains from IKEA or something, I think. Judges, 3, 2, 1, put them up. Please put them up. We have a 9.6. We got a 9.2. We have a 9.6. We have a 9.3. And we have a 9.8. Give it up for the poetry and not the points. On deck, you have Maya spoken, but give a thunderous round of applause to Shaf, everyone, all the way to the stage.
My mother is surrounded, crowded by obsession, hounded for possession of her delicious food. Her distinct dash of delightful spice teaches tight tongues and narrow palates a new definition of flavor, shown small-town American dreamers living in smaller worlds a new comprehension of culture. My mother is surrounded by acclaim and adoration, a community grateful for one immigrant's contribution. Artistry may run in this family, but my mother is truly gifted. With food alone, she nourishes empty stomachs and hungering souls, builds this appetite for glancing into new unknowns. My mother is surrounded in a place so far from home, where she's worn down tooth, nail, bone, soul, to have one place to call her own. I see the paradox she lives in, stranded yet branded like property of tight tongues and narrow palates who can't be bothered to develop the habit of pronouncing those foods I treasured. Her korma, her vindaloo, her pilau, her biryani. It comes as no shock to me, she mostly sells butter chicken. My mother is surrounded in hostile territory, not a prisoner of war, not a rebel fighting for glory, just an endless skirmish to establish her belonging. My mother is surrounded by jackals who shower her with praise, cackles enclosing their prey, ignorance or malice, tight tongues, narrow palates. They talk like they forgot her skin color some days, strangled by those cheering on her oppression who claim to love her but support legislation for our kind's regression, suffocating under the decisions of good people who claim to have the best intentions. My mother is surrounded, and I don't think I can save her as those same hyenas close in around me, too.
Keep that round of applause going for Shaf, everyone. I didn't fully think this one through. Today I'm wearing clothes. Judges, 3, 2, 1, put them up. All right, we have a 7.8. Yeah, let them know what you think. You got a 9.8. Yeah. You have a 9.6? You have a 9.5 and an 8.9. Give it up for the poetry and not the points. On deck you have. But coming up next is Maya Spoken. Big round of applause all the way to the stage.
My daughter and I were eating nuggets one day when she broke out into dance and song, knocking her barbecue sauce all over the rug. She screams. My rug is light gray, so I screamed. We rush in a panic to clean up the mess. I am scared to ruin what feels like one of the last perfect things in this home that I still have. We rub until I remember you're actually supposed to dab, and the mess spreads. She stops and begins to yell that there is a dinosaur. I continue to dab, and she insists that I stop trying to arrest the mess because there is a dinosaur. I stop, and I look at the mess, how the resilient barbecue sauce has spread into the shape of something prehistoric. My daughter is so excited about the dinosaur, I decide to let him stay. I smile because she's right. Maybe it's okay to let the mess bring you back to the places where you first began. As I recite this poem, eviction notices pile up in my kitchen cabinet. One day, I counted them and realized I had more eviction notices than reasons I wanted to stay here, to stay alive. This one time, I became a single mom and lost everyone that gave me reason to believe that I am loved. I cried so hard that my eyes swelled shut and I couldn't see my purpose anymore. But this one time, my daughter wiped my eyes until I could open them again, and I saw everyone that reminded me of my purpose. Did you know that if you are broken enough when a child says, I love you, it can sound a lot like a reason to live? The first time I tried therapy, she told me we can start from where it all went wrong, and I was ashamed because for me that meant the very beginning. The memories felt like a mess, a stain spread across a perfect rug that everyone wants to get rid of, but I learned that trauma is the only stain that doesn't make you soiled, and as much as we wish we could just wipe it away, it becomes a part of what makes us beautiful as mosaics. Sometimes the best place to start is the beginning, even if it's when you first made the mess. When I was little, I used to count how many years I had left of being a kid. I imagined the number would tell me how many years I had left of experiencing childhood abuse. I was 15 when I discovered living on the streets was safer than living with family. It was 2015 when I discovered that living in poetry could bring me community. This one time, someone told me that my poetry gave them a reason to keep living, and what they didn't know was that them telling me this was giving me the same. Perhaps there is a message in the mess. Perhaps going back gives you the opportunity to start over as many times as you need to, because one of those times you might just get it right. And that doesn't mean perfection, but it does mean purpose. And the moral of the story is not that we should all become dinosaurs. I didn't become prehistoric. I picked up a pen and I called myself a poet.
Keep that applause going for Maya Spoken, everyone. I am standing on a green turf stage in front of a Versus Festival of Spoken Word poster at the Versus Festival of Spoken Word. Judges, 3, 2, 1, put them up. We've got a 9.0. Fine, you got a 9.8. You've got a 9.9. You've got an 8.1. And you've got a 9.9. Give it up for the poetry, not the points. That brings us to the end of our beautiful, beautiful night of curling and Coliseum, y'all. How are y'all doing? Yeah, y'all are pretty jazzed. We had parent poems and kid poems up here for the final round. Amazing. I'm allowed to say things like that because now the scores are out of my fucking hands, y'all. I'm like not supposed to show any kind of like, I like that poet or I like this poet. I do choose a poet to root for, I'll be real. My mom can pick favorites, why not me? You know what I mean? Real talk. Yeah, I know. I'm just up here to spit weird shit, and I already lost my fucking steam, yo. I'm like, what joke do I follow that up with? Besides my life. Anyway. Oh, we've got people. What are we doing?
Give it up for Towel Hum, everybody. And give it up for Cobra Collins one time. The lovely Cobra Collins. Thank you for hosting. Judges, thank you for judging. I have results. Hey, poets. Whether you were in finals or not, if you're in the room, come up to the stage. All 24, bring it up. There's not a lot of room, but I'm hoping it can hold up all of us. I'm gonna move more forward. Yeah, squeeze in, squeeze in. Push me out of the way if you need to. Okay, we're gonna do this in descending order. With a 28.0, can we give it up for our third place poet, Shaf? Our second place poet with a 28.5, give it up for Tahira. I know many of you have deductive reasoning, so you can probably assume who I'm going to say next. I just want to let you know that it was a 28.7. So that was a point 2 difference. But our 2025 Canadian Individual Poetry Slam champion, Maya Spoken. Congratulations. If you'd like to say something, if you're able.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to thank everybody that's here, and especially all of the poets, everyone that I've gotten to meet. This is my third year coming to SIPS just because I have found so much community here, and it means so much to me to be able to come back. So thank you, everyone, for your poetry. You've inspired me in so many ways. I want to shout out my kids, Angel and Aisha. I love you guys so much, and thank you.
And I believe that means it's Johnny Trin time. Johnny Trin, where are you at? At the back. Like, behind me? There he is. Johnny Trin, your artistic director, everybody. Give it up.
In the program, Matt noted that I would be doing an outro that would last about 3 hours, and we'd be done by 2 in the morning. I just wanted to say, no, that's not going to happen. Yeah, I just really wanted to say thank you to all the poets here. Give it up one more time for these amazing poets. I have not witnessed a year in a long time when the game was just a thing they did. But more importantly, they came and found community and support each other, even from the prelims right all the way up to here. Yeah? It takes a community to build an artist, whether resisted against it or nurtured by it. And there was lots of resistance in judging and sports and games and whatever, but there's so much nurture. And just to close it off, thank you all, audience, for listening. These stories need to be heard, right? And with your help, with your listening, with changing society, these stories will change for the better, yes? So thank you all. Have a great night. Be safe. Thanks to all the volunteers, staff, and everyone else here. It's been a real joy. Thanks for everyone online. We see you. Thanks for the lovely comments. And yeah, that was not 3 hours. Thank you. Bye. Love you. Love you. Bye.